So one of the things that you've mentioned, which really caught my attention, is how job roles are getting merged.
Yeah.
You did talk about
Yeah.
how product teams, you're recommending product teams to not just work on specs, but also start doing prototypes.
Yeah.
Help us understand why that merge and why is it essential?
Love it, love it. Okay, yeah, a few things. One, I see my engineering teams
Okay.
spending a lot less time, it's not zero time,
Okay.
but a lot less time writing if then else statements,
Yeah.
select case statements. We're, as engineers, using an AI first methodology. We are spending more time writing requirements. And they're often very technical requirements, but nevertheless, we're writing those technical requirements in order to guide the agents to produce outcomes that are many more lines of code that we could have written in the same amount of time. At the same time, we're making our engineers more efficient, more effective. We're also reducing the barriers for folks who have historically and traditionally participate in the software development practice, but we're not the engineers themselves. It's much easier for them to now at least produce prototypes.
Yeah.
So like my product managers can write a reasonably technical specification
Yep.
and produce a prototype. My designers can actually, like, yes, they've always been working inside of Figma and things like that, but they can now also send those Figma mockups over to Gemini CLI,
Yep.
have it interpret it, and actually produce a working prototype.
Absolutely.
And a working prototype, by the way, that's also based upon our own existing UI component libraries.
Not creating something new.
They're not creating something new, they're just reassembling the components
Yeah.
in the code that was already there. Now, why is this important? It's like from a software development perspective. When we're working in abstractions, right? If it's a product manager who's writing a giant requirements doc, we're working at a layer of abstraction. And that means that when you're working in abstraction, it's hard to understand and to get your hands around like the tactile details. Will this solution actually work?
Yeah.
Will it be not just something that is functionally useful, but that is enjoyable to use?
Yeah.
And like, I build developer tools. I care a lot about the ergonomics of these tools. You should want to play with it and create with it and tinker and experiment, because it's that creative spark that makes software development.
The aha moment you get right when you
Yes.
actually see it in action.
Yes. So I ask my product managers, I want demos, not memos. I want you creating
love it.
prototypes. I want you helping us like realize whether or not this is going to be useful and fun and creative. Now, if you take those trends, those early trends, what that suggests is that if my product managers are spending more time creating software, at least prototypes, if my engineers are spending more time writing prompts, which
Yeah.
kind of look a little bit like a specification in some
Yeah.
way, there is a little bit of a convergence here in at least the job skill sets
Okay.
of our teams. And I think you could argue that this means that we're all starting to look a little bit more, I'm going to call it a creator, a builder. I don't have a name for it yet.
Okay.
But there's going to be more overlap in the Venn diagram. Now, here's the extra little bit of color
Okay.
that I want to put on that in our conversation yesterday I didn't
Uh-huh.
get to. So, does that mean that we're just going to have one job description 10 years from now? I'm not talking about next month. I'm talking about far off, right?
Yep.
That we're just going to have one creator job description that we all have to participate in. I don't think so.
Okay.
Here's what I think is going to happen. Like, I have a series of life experiences that make me particularly empathetic when it comes to customer needs. I have a set of life experiences that make me like really have good taste when it comes to design. By the way, I'm not saying these are necessarily true of me, but I'm just providing examples. Maybe you have a set of life experiences that make it so that you're really good at anticipating failure points, and you're really good at seeing like what could go wrong at a time, right? Like, those are the types of qualities that tend to be really well associated with a really excellent engineer. But if I'm really good at anticipating customer needs and being empathetic to how a customer might interact with the user interface, maybe I've got better design sensibilities. We each are bringing we are baked into our personalities, our experiences, our taste, our domain expertise. We're still bringing something that is unique and special to that. Yes, some of the tools that we use might have overlap in the skills required to deploy and make use of those tools, but that doesn't mean we don't have domain expertise.
Understood.
And so this is where I think, even though there is a convergence in the tools that we're using, the actual domain expertise that we bring to our jobs, to our projects, is still going to be, every person has something unique and special to bring.
Yeah. You seem to have read my mind.